afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the flower patch. My name's Iris Smith and I make beautiful artificial flower arrangements for all occasions. Well, hello guys. I hope you've all had a wonderful weekend. I've been busy again with my husband, just pottering in the garden and then obviously doing the household chores and things like that, catching up on a few things. Right, I think it was just over a week ago I had a lovely lady send me a request if I could do a wreath just in the beaded fern or beaded grass, as some people may know it. I've not done one where it's just on the fern on its own. So I have done a bow. Let me just show you the bow. I've done it in 5-inch loops. I usually go to 6, but I've gone down to 5. And then the polka dot ones at the back are 5-inch. This deco web is 5-inch. Then the plain orange burlap is 4.5-inch. Then the deco web again is 4.5-inch. And then we've got one here, another polka dot in the center, and that is 4-inch. So I've just got a few little tail ends. They're not very long. Maximum I think is around 10-inch, just over. So I've got a 12-inch, I'm sure it's a 12-inch, yes, a 12-inch grapevine wreath, and I want to place that at the top, and then I want the beaded grass, which I've got here, oops a daisy, in a great, I've took a great load out. I don't know, I've chopped a lot up singular before I started. I've left about 4 bunches in there in case I don't need them, but I've got all of this. I have got my lady apple out as well, because I may just want to add a little bit of colouring, guys. I'm all about colour, you know, I do like my colour. So I thought I may just something wispy, just perhaps to hang down, because the fern is going to all come down to the bottom. So I may have these hanging and following the shape of the fern. So that's all I've got out today, guys. It seems really weird that I don't have, excuse me, my workbench full or more than I really, truly need of foliage and floral. So, but hey, there's that many different designs to the point where you don't need all of those florals and the foliage. So I'm going to bring the camera down and we're going to get started. I decided to do this on a small wreath because I think if I did it on a 14 or 16-inch grapevine, it would take quite long and you'd probably get bored of seeing me putting the same foliage in. So I thought I'd just do it on a small wreath. But I did want to do this because I have seen them and I do quite like them. The simplicity of them. So I thought, and when I got the request, I was more than honoured to do it. So thanks for your request. I really appreciate it. So I'm going to bring the camera down. And again, this would be fantastic for a beginner who's just starting out, or a novice, who's been doing it for a few months and that, but, still want that help or practice, or to be shown some different designs. So this will really be fabulous for beginners. So let's bring our camera down. Right, let's get it down. I'm going to bring you in a bit, like so. So I'm going to turn it the upside down. I don't mind working upside down. And again, we're going to have our bow sitting where our hook is, and I'm going to attach it first. So I don't have to. You could leave the bow, you know, till you've virtually got all of it in, or you could just attach it in first and then work around the bow. So today I'm going to do what I don't usually do, and that is place it in first. I'm using my weaving needle. You can get them off Amazon in packs of 20, 50, 100 and so on. They're only plastic. So I've just bent the one part of the floral wire around it in a U-bend, and I'm going to see where I want it positioning. Around there. So I'm going to place my weaving needle through the grapevine. Let me just grab the hook so I don't. Through the back. It's easier to pull, especially if you have, you know, health issues with your hands. And then I'm going to place the other one, if you can see. I'm not placing it in the same place as that one because it needs to be able to attach around some wood. And if you can see, it's popped through there. Let me just make sure it will come through. And then just pull it. Oh gosh, I say it's easier, didn't I? There, pull it through. And then you've got your wire through the back, which makes it much, much easier. And then once you've got your wires both through, just have a look concerning placement of your bow, that you're happy with how it's sitting. I have to be careful with this deco web. It attaches to anything. I may cut that one shorter. And now I'm happy. I will twist my wire cut off some of it. And again, if you have problems with your hands, just get some flat pliers and then just turn over your wire and push it back into your wreath. And that is so it doesn't scratch on a door that you may be placing it on. So let me just play around and fluff it up. So I'm going to just cut this one. It's a little bit, you know, too long. I want it around the same length. Let's just see if that one's too long as well. Yeah. I'm cutting this burlap at an angle because it does fray if I do it in the dovetail. Right, so now we've got our lovely bow on. And now we can get our beaded fern. And again, as I say, I've cut a lot off to try and prepare. Let's keep the bunches there, what haven't been touched. So I've cut all these off the bunches. So what we're going to do, I do want to start at the top and have it coming down like so. So it just flops over. I may place, you know, the odd one up here as well, because I do like something behind the bow. I don't just want to see nothing here. You know, you can leave it like that. It's entirely, you know, your choice. So we're going to, first of all, place this in. And we're going to be using probably quite a few of these. So I'm just cutting down the stems shorter. I'm going under the bow to start with at the top. And this is all really you need to be doing. But do make sure that they are next to each other, that they're not, apart. You don't really want to see too many gaps, really. So you just keep, you'll see it more as I get further down how I'm placing them in. They are really quite, all within each other and sitting on top of each other. You want to see it quite full. And even bring your stems on the inside as well of your wreath. So I've got so far around 4 single stems next to each other on the wreath. I think I've ordered another 20 of these bunches. So you have to make it so they're really on top of each other when you're placing them in. You don't want to see them where one's here, one's here. You're trying to bring it down. And again, because you see it here, you can see the grapevine. So I'm going really close to where I've placed the other stems. And I'm wanting to cover as much grapevine as I can. So this will take quite a lot of these. Let me cut a few down. Oops-a-daisy. Let's get a few of these cut down, guys, so I haven't got to keep doing it individually. I don't know why I'm doing it one by one. And they are push-ups as well. Again, come around the sides as well. As you can see the grapevine here. You need to come around the sides as well and fill in those gaps there. Even if it means placing 2 on, you're wanting to cover your grapevine. And you do that all the way to get around right down to the bottom, because we are having it where it's going to meet at the bottom. Oops, I've just dropped one, like so. And just keep checking on the inside of your wreath, check on here, around the side. You can always look once you've finished if you've left any gaps. Because as you can see, we're only up to here. We've put quite a few in, but we are only up near the top with this stem. It's only because of the leaf that's covering the grapevine that you really wouldn't notice how far we've, you know, you'd think we was down further. So what I'm going to do, let's just get rid of the tail ends. Face it this way. Oops. I think that's why I was doing it singular, because the stems are placed in my hands some higher than others. Again, so come on inside. Just got a bit of glue on that one. Doesn't it look pretty? The texture of these leaves are exceptionally pretty. And you can bend, you know, bend the stem because they are wired, and they also are push-ups as well. I've got a gap here that I can see, so I'm going to just place in that there. So we're nearly reaching to the bottom, so there's a gap here, so let's take that one in there. Again, they're very, very simple. It won't take you long, you know, to do them, especially if you're in a rush and somebody wants one of these. You know, you could put the whole bunch in like that, if I can just get it like that, but I prefer to do it individually so I have more control, you know, with it, concerning the placement of each leaf. We need one around here. Again, don't forget the outer side. I can see a gap just there. There we have it. Oh, I've got glue on my table. I was looking at getting a bigger mat, because this is only an A2. I could do with an A1 size. So when I get to here, I'm going to place my one here so it shows you where the end of this side is. So if I just place that pointing downwards, so that's where I finish on this side. again, come near the midsection of the centre of the wreath. So once we've done this side, I will show you how it looks by lifting it up. So it's such a very easy and effective wreath, and it can be used for any, you know, season. It doesn't have to just be, you know, autumn or something like winter. And plus you can change the bow throughout. If you want it like for summer, you can change your bow and put something a bit lighter on. I've placed the orange or the burnt orange on basically because we go, you know, for the autumnal look. But again, for even Christmas, you could change the bow and place on a Christmas bow. You know, anything like that, it will change the look of it just by changing that bow. So I've reached the end. I'm just looking. Right, I could do with one there for a bit of a, you know, space around the side if I've missed anywhere. And that's just by moving away others. There we go. Now that's that with that. Oh, I've come through with a couple of more than a couple. Let's see. I tell you, these wreaths, guys, I won't be buying any more. They are very thin. But again, you just can't help that. It comes how it comes. Especially when I'm buying online, I can't really view it. Right, I've got one there where I can see I could put one. On the inside. There we have it. So that is on one side that we have done our beaded fern. You can, if you wish, you know, just straighten these if you feel that they look a bit too tangled. You know, just apart them and get them straight so they're all facing downwards instead of some going off to the sides or, you know, tangled up with each other. So that is how it looks on one side, all quite full. Isn't that lovely? And again, just by changing your bow, I will fluff that back up. It adds a, you know, you don't even really, if you don't wish to have a bow. I've got this here. Oh, now that's come undone from somewhere. I don't know where. I don't know how that could have come undone. Right, well, fair enough. So we're going to chop that down. So if that happens, guys, like I mean, it's happened and I don't know how. And your loops come off. That's very strange. And obviously you've already attached your bow. Then just cut it off and just have 3. doesn't, you know, it won't harm it. Oh, that's never happened to me, that. Never mind. So now you can see that side. And the reason I know it's just plain, but if you don't want to add in anything else with it, if I just get this one, I was thinking of just maybe even on the outside, or split these up and have the odd one. I don't know yet, it might spoil it. It may spoil it. So now we will move on to the opposite side. I'm just trying to get these, brush these down. So we do exactly what we've done on this side, on that side. I could have carried on placing one here, one there, one here, but I thought I'd just do one full side. I may put a few more in. In fact, I'm going to put a couple more in there at the top near the bow, because it looks a bit flat under the loop. So let's just get another one in. Or another two, should I say. Just to make it look bushy. There we go. So now we carry on the opposite side. So we're going to need some more cutting. I've got glue stuck to me. I can feel it on my skin, but I can't see it. So let's start on the opposite side. I'm going to go and get that piece that I dropped on the opposite side of my workbench. Let's not forget about that one. I've got my slippers on, guys, and they've got flowers on. You know me, I like flowers, so let me just tuck that under again out the way. Let's see if I need any up here. Yeah, let's get a couple up here. Let me just cut that off, because I don't know what that is. I don't want it in the way. I don't know. Oh, I can't get it on. A bit of twigs sticking out. If you find little twigs like that, just, you know, snip them off, and, you know, if you feel it's scraping on anything. I'm going to place just a few under here where I can already see a gap. It's quite a popular wreath, this. It's sort of like, you know, it's the in thing where everybody, you know, has been doing them. I've not done them because I've not been asked to do them. I haven't done one for myself either. So, but it's all good. Now I've had a request, it gave me that option to have a go. And it's just really basic, you know, it's just placing them in. So let's cut some more. I should have just cut the whole lot down. Let's see. I'm going to push them up actually and get them ready and see how much stem. Just push them right to the top. So what you can do when you push them to the top, for you people who don't have picks or anything, I buy my picks in. I only want small stems on these. I don't want long, so I've cut it there. And that is about 2 inch. So I do that around every one, around 2 inch. Now you have this left and you've still got little stems on. Save those, guys, because if you ever want to, and this is especially for the beginners, or well, anybody really, and you need something like you've got a flower head and you need a small pick on it, cut it off, put your flower, push that in the bottom of your flower and you'll have a pick. So then you've got some wire to place your flower into your wreath or whatever you may be doing. So save those, guys. They are really handy and they, you know, you can use them especially. But I do have my own picks that I purchase. But I do also save those. So, and I'm going to cut another one. I'm going to do the same. I did push all the others up that I've cut, what are already in, before I started. Oh, and hi to my friend Audrey in Phoenix, New York. If anybody has found out for my friend, if there's any craft fairs in Phoenix, New York, then, you know, please message my friend Audrey on Heavenly Scent Cut Flowers, and let my friend know where they are, because she'd love to be going to one. And check out her YouTube page as well, guys. She's a lovely lady, and if you know, if you ever want anything making, she will make it you. You know, she's very good. She's a lovely lady and a dear friend. Right, so as you can see, there's a few gaps here around the side. I want to be, you know, covering that up, not right to the bottom here, but just around the side where the fern will sit lower, slightly lower down. And I've got a couple more here. I'll do the same. Again, you're placing, you know, basically your fern on top of each other all the way around. And that's what gives it that volume. You could, if you wanted it to be an autumn or any, well, really any, you could place in some berries. You could do it for Christmas as well. You could change the berries, you know, concerning each season. You could place in, you know, a coloured berry like for spring, like a nice pastel berry, or seed heads, anything like that. And then you could place in for summer, you could nice yellow berries, or, you know, red. Well, not, I wouldn't say red, because that tends to be, a lot of people tend to use that for season or like Christmas. Or purple berries or blueberries. And you could then also, autumn, you could place in some orange berries or some coffee coloured berries or some ivory coloured berries. Christmas, obviously red berries, red and white berries, a bit of holly or anything like that. And that will, you know, again, change the look and the season of your wreath. So it's a multi-purpose wreath where it can be used for any season. I'm just moving them out of the way so I can see the gap that I've got here. And I'm going to meet up at the bottom. Let's get that off. Got the glue wrapped all around. Oh, and my friend Sandra wears as well. I've helped her purchase a glue pan. Gave her some information on where to get it, and also, you know, a few other things like glue sticks. And I hope you have fun with it, Sandra. I hope you really do. She's burnt herself quite a few times on her glue gun. They do hurt, the glue guns, I find. But don't throw it away, because you may need it for, you know, bits that you need to get really deep into that you can't reach. I'll place that one there. And again, now you can see that they're meeting. They've met in the middle. Let's have a look, consume look here. I only want to put, I'm going to put, I think 3 there, but I want, I think, a couple more just to place at the bottom. And then that should be enough, because then it's quite full. I want just a few here on top. And then one under here. There we go. I may actually just put a loop there. I quite like the idea of perhaps instead of using the lady apple I have. So up here where my bow is, I don't want it as full as I've got it around the wreath. So all I'm going to do is have it slightly more thinner by just placing 3 pieces above. Oh, I've got so much stringy glue today. It's following me. And that's just how I've done it at the top. It's much thinner, but I want it to make it look like the bow is sat on top of something, even, you know, at the top. Let's just grab these back out. What did I do? place one there. Oh, I've got a piece here as well, what I've got left. So let's see what I can do. Do I add a bit of that webbing? I may. Let's just search for it again. Here we are. I've got slidey drawers under here, guys, with all my ribbon on, under my workbench, so they're not on show. Right, let's just dovetail this. Dovetail this end by just bending it in half, cutting where the folded edges down to the wire at an angle. I think I just want, do I want one or two? Let me just have a look and do. I'm just going to fold it. I may have two little ones, so I'm going to measure this with it. Let's cut that at an angle. So I'm going to place that on top. Let me just move that out of the way. So I'm going to place this on top of the other one, and I'm going to do them together. So I don't want, again, a long one. I just want it to sit at the bottom. So I'm going to have, and when I say I'm going to have, it's probably going to be about a 3-inch tail end. I don't want it hanging over. You can have it hanging over if you want it down here. I just want to sit mine at the bottom here. So pinch like that together. I'm doing it as one, saves me doing it, you know, twice. Or do I just do one and have tail end? I might just do one now, guys. Let me lengthen it. Oh, I do change my mind. So pinch once you've decided how long you want it. Place it on your mat, or just look at it in your hand. You could think, well, I'm going to do it. Oh, that would look nice. So the tail ends to meet. So I'm going to bring them together and pinch in between my thumb and finger. I'm going to turn, twist the polka dot one around. I don't need to twist the webbing. And I'm going to have them like that, and I'm going to have it sat there. So then I could get that little piece, what I've got here, place that over the top as well in the center, because then that will hide where we're going to place in our cable tie. Oh, I've got it the wrong way around, and you'll see in a moment. So just pull. I'm not placing it in any position. I'm going to get my wire, go through, just come down a little bit with the cable tie, and then I'm going to pull. Cut the cable tie off, and the two pieces of wire that you have, I will twist the bow, not the wire, the bow twice. So now you see this little piece here, what looks a little messy. I get my scissors and tidy that out. I cut it near to the cable tie, not right next to it, because the cable tie needs something, this central loop needs something to just hold on to. So now that's going to be my central, which is I bend over and it covers my cable tie. And I'll get these and just part them like so. And then the tail ends, I will have polka dot, web, polka dot and webbing. So you've then got that like that. And if you feel that this keeps popping up, get your glue gun, and I'll show you another way to keep it down. If you just put a bit of glue onto your ribbon and then just press it onto the ribbon below your tail end, and that will stop it keep moving. It will stay in place, and you have that. So then I will look where the finishing bit is. It's going to be opposite here. Let's move, and I will place that in there. I use through again the back using my weaving needle. Go through one area, let's come through the back, then take it off the needle and get the other piece of wire and do the same. Again, place it through a different part of the grapevine so it doesn't all go through the same hole. Take that off if I can. There we go. So just then see where I'd like this to sit. I'd say around here. I will bring some of the fern in with it, you know, to make it look like it's all together and it's growing within each other. I might need another one there. Let's just grab another one. Excuse me. Let that go behind and through. So now I've made my mind up where I'd like the bottom piece of the bow to go. Again, turn it over and twist. So as you can see, it's, I've just seen a one there. As you can see, it's all around the side. And if you keep, like I do with this wreath, it's very thin. Oh, there's a small one here, and I'm lifting it up, even though it's just slightly under the wood. I still want to grab it and push it back in. So yes, as you can see, we've got it all around the sides. Just bend that over, place it back inside your wreath so it doesn't scratch, and then fluff up your bow. Keep those tail ends down here so they are entwined with the foliage. The bow there, and then just tidy your bow up at the top. I'm going to keep the tail ends hanging. I don't want to cut them short. I want to keep them long so they look like they're joining over onto the little bow at the bottom. So that is your lovely beaded fern wreath with just the fern, nothing more, which gives it, you know, a beautiful look. Again, you change your ribbon if you're placing one in at a different season. You don't have to change your fern. And if you've got ribbon in it at the bottom as well, change that. If you wish to place in the odd floral, I'm not so sure now. I don't feel it's needed. I don't know, with them sitting like that, that doesn't look quite bad. Or if I placed in, no, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to do, the lady did say a beaded fern. She didn't ask for floral. I just thought I'd like a bit of colour, but we've got colour on our ribbon, so we're not going to use it. So that, guys, again, is our project for today. It was very quick. I tried to slow down to make it a bit longer so it wouldn't look like it's a 2-minute thing. But it is what it is. Let me just place my ribbon back. I've got them all in colour coordination. And that is how it looks. Doesn't that look pretty? Just as the fern by itself with a little bit of ribbon. And again, if you wish, you could add some berries. Let me see what's colour berries. I don't want to add in berries, what's going to make it look a bit odd. You could even just add green berries in. Or you could add fruit in as well, other fruit. Now I've got these berries. You could just dot the odd one of these around because they're green. They blend in really well. So you could add those in. Or I've only got 4 of these left. If you've got any fruit like raspberries or anything like that, you could add in some fruit as well. Just obviously manipulate it and bring those in, or cut them individually and dot those around. And you could place those in also. Amongst any other things really, if you wanted to add in just a little bit of floral, but you didn't want it, you know, like, you know, the size of peonies or roses or anything, get a little bit of like wildflower or what's really, or even use a bit of lavender. You could place lavender in with it, and because it's quite nice and slim, the lavender, and you could dot the lavender around. Again, I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to just leave it as it is, because that's what the lady just asked for, was a beaded fern wreath. So let me just go and place this on my easel. Get these out of the way. Gosh, I feel like I haven't been on making the video for very long. Let's just get that on there. And this would look lovely on your front door. Again, just sitting, looking nice. And just change the bow, colour the bow every time it's a different season. So let's stand back. Doesn't that look pretty? Just again with just a little bit of the fern at the top. If I can get my camera, I don't know what's wrong with it. It keeps going down. I have to place it there, it goes down, look, on its own. And I haven't a clue why. Oh my gosh. I've just moved the light on the on the camera stand. As you heard it, I've just that was me being heavy-handed again, guys. Oh, we'll leave it at that. I don't know why. So that is our lovely bearded fern wreath. So again, it's fabulous for beginners. It really is, guys. So if you want to give it a go, grab a load of this bearded fern. I mean, I know in the States you can get it maybe from Hobby Lobby, Michael's, is it Joann's? Something like that. Over here, I think I've seen it on, there's some on Etsy, I've seen on Etsy. I've also seen it on Thistle and Fern, I think. Don't quote me on that one. I ordered this off a lady who no longer is now, she shut her business down. So, but I ordered a load off of her when she got it. So, yeah. So it's very easy, very simple to do. If you don't want a bow there, you don't have to have a bow. If you want to place a sign in the centre, you could place a sign on it instead, or place a little sign at the top. Or you could just have a flower, a big, you know, quite a large flower placed in at the top, or perhaps maybe 3 flowers around the top, or just a little cluster of flowers at the top, and then do the rest of the, you know, fern around it. That would look pretty as well. Whether it be a sunflower, whether it be a rose, what you'd probably see, well, what you would see all year round, or maybe something like artichokes or proteas. You know, you could place those, or lilies, anything like that. You know, something with really quite a big head. Big gerbras, I know in the States you call them gerbera daisies or gerbera daisies. Well, the big ones, anemones, you could place big anemones in the centre. Oh gosh, what else could you place? Yeah, did I say peonies? I can't remember if I said peonies. Or if you want it actually as something like just a bit of a autumnal sort of a look, place in some fruit, you know, like apples, some like I've shown you the raspberries, maybe you know, oranges in those sort of colours, in the reds and the oranges, and place a bunch of those around the top as well. That would also give it a wonderful effect. And place a few things like maybe blueberries around it, and you know, just things like that, guys. You know, your imagination can really go for it when you've just got something play green and you just want a bit of colour at the top, or a bit of floral. I mean, you don't have to have the floral at the top. You can start doing all of your bearded fern down and then have the floral at the bottom. Or you can just have the floral at the bottom and then go the opposite way with your leaves, or stop at 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock. You know, and so it's just half of the wreath done at the bottom. You could do it that way, or you could do the same at the top, have the floral there and then stop here with your fern. You know, you could do that as well, or just do a crescent shaped one. So, or do the full one. So again, I hope you enjoyed that, guys. I know it wasn't lots of different florals, but you know, I love my requests, and for the lady to request it, I was honoured, and just as honoured as I would be for anybody else sending me a request. And I plan to do it this, you know, today anyway. I've got a piece of paper what I'm planning I'm doing most of the day, most of the week, you know, when I'm doing the videos. So give it a go. And again, you beginners, give it a go. You will, you know, be really proud of yourselves. And anybody else who's given it a go, be proud of yourselves. If you haven't got this, guys, please don't worry to sort of like go out there and look for it. And if you can't find it, sort of like, you know, get upset or a bit, you know, start panicking because you can't get hold of it. Use just normal fern, guys. You can buy the fern on the bunches where you can push them up, you know, or I've got them, you can get them. If I just grab one, I don't know, I think I've got just a few ornaments here. Yeah, you can get these, use those instead, because they're similar shape and with the button fern, but they're just like that. Get your fern instead and do it with your fern, and that will just look as fabulous. So have a wonderful day. Excuse me, I've got a tickle at the back of my throat. Take care. Please subscribe, share and like. To everybody who you know, guys, and again, thank you for all your wonderful comments. And get your friends, family, colleagues, neighbours, whomever, to just come and sit with you one evening, put the telly on, pop on my channel, and we could be having a few laughs, or we, you know, it might get your friend interested, that they think, oh, I may give it a go, and then they'll go out and then they buy some things to start having a go and become addicted and can't stop. Oh, isn't that wonderful? So have a great day. Again, please subscribe, share and like, and have a go, and take care, and God bless and good health. I love you all. Keep your comments coming, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now. Bye-bye. Right, guys, there's not really much that I can show show you concerning elements. So this is going to go quite quickly. There's the beaded fern, and the only reason they call it beaded is because on the ends they're round and they look like little beads. But again, if you haven't got that, you could still use these ferns, little mini ferns, what are just as good. And then we've just gone all the way around, you know, layering them on top of each other, so it's all nice and full. We've placed just a two ribbon let's get this right, a 2-loop bow at the bottom with just little tail ends coming through, and then we've done the big one at the top where it's got the polka dots, the burlap and the deco web. So, and that is really all I can say for today. It just seems so weird not going through different things, but it's looking nice and full. You know, all the fern is just hanging down and it looks really pretty. And again, you can change it from season to season by changing the ribbon and just putting a different ribbon on for whichever season. Or even if you add floral, take the floral out and pop something in for that season that's upcoming. Just like that. It's so simple. So have a go, guys, and you know what? Enjoy it. Take care, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.